saying here he is and all the credits, but here I am. Hello, everybody. Hi. Thank you for being here. This is something that's near and dear to my heart. I've absolutely been sent to bring this message, a new message to the world, and that's the message of laughter, winning with laughter. Bring more laughter to the world. What do you think? I think that we need it so much. We're so divided these days. And I'm going to start with one thing to get me loose and you loose. Let's start with a ha. Ha is a cleansing breath. Oh, by the way, hello at home or wherever you're. Hopefully you're not driving. But anyway, thank you for having me. And Sherry, we'll get to you. Let's do a cleansing breath. It's ha is the most cleansing breath. It's spiritual. Think about it. If you go to church, hallelujah is a word. Ha ha. So we're doing ha hallelujah. Okay, here we go. Ready? In through your nose and let out a ha. Ha. Everybody feel that? Oh, I forgot to do something. Write down in your head, in number 1 to 10, your level of stress. Right, think of it right now. Think of level of stress, 1 to 10. I guarantee you, because I've had it happen, you will lower that stress level significantly by the end of the day today. That's one of my intentions, is personally to give you that gift, but also to give you tools for living that are amazing. And I've worked this for a while, and we're going to get to that. Okay, another cleansing breath. Okay, this is for me as well as you. Ah. You feel that? You feel that resonance? You feel your heart, how everything starts to open. I talk about chakras. Your heart chakra opens, your mind, your body, spirit. We're going to go, just like the Wizard of Oz, we're going to the land of ha-has. And that's all mind, body, and spirit. That's what the Wizard of Oz is. It's Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Lion. We're going to address it all today, your mind, your heart, and your spirit. And this is so wonderful that we could be here at a place called Unity. When I was sitting here last week, I actually was inspired to really connect with somebody. One of the messages I'm bringing here is, this is about unity and community, and comedy makes community. We're going to come together and we're going to start a laughter mob. We have started a laughter mob, and we invite everybody at home. By the end of this, you're hopefully going to be inspired, and everybody's going to join this laughter mob that we are forming. It's a wonderful thing to laugh, isn't it? Isn't just it's so glorious. It just shifts our vibration into a place of positivity and magnificence. And that's where so a little bit about myself. A lot of you don't know. A few people have never seen my show. I'm a comedian for many years. And some people laugh at that because I'm kind of well known, but other people go, I have no idea who you are. And that's true. And it doesn't matter. It's not about my ego. Just describing where I come from, the credentials that bring you here, or the story that brings me here is the story of laughter and comedy. I started off life a little difficult. My dad left when I was born. Something I said, wah. and there I was alone because my mom was working often, and I had to learn how to find laughter and joy in my life, which was kind of joyless at first. We were very poor, and I don't know if everybody grew up poor, but it's a really difficult thing. Your circumstances are such that you get bullied, and people pick on you if you don't have a father, and that happened to me. A lot happened to me with the bullying and so forth. And I just kept coming back to what makes people laugh. How can I bring joy to people and hence bring it back to me? It's all reflective. That's what we're going to find out today. It's so reflective to laugh. It comes back at you. If that's the energy you're putting out, that's what comes back to you. It's an absolute reflection that happens with people. So I had this life, grew up in Philadelphia, and immediately I wanted a father. That was my big thing. I wanted a father. And I just so desperately was somebody to protect me or whatever it was, or guide me. And everybody else had a dad that would coach their little league teams, and I was in there really struggling. I grew up in the city of Philadelphia, and we didn't have there was no baseball field, so we played stickball. And I caught the ball with my right hand and threw with my right hand. Then I moved to the suburbs. They said, join baseball. And they said, get a glove. So I got a glove for my right hand. So at first, when I played baseball, I had no dad to coach me. I would catch the ball, throw the glove down, and then throw it because I didn't know you're supposed to catch with your left. And all these things, all this adaptability, all the things in life, I'm going to teach you today on how to adapt and how to have fun with it, how to have fun with making fun of yourself. Philadelphia, you better make fun of yourself because you're going to beat them to the punchline. And they will literally punch you in Philadelphia, but that's the way I grew up. And it was just this feeling of not acceptance and not belonging, and to have these communities that we're building here, to have the community of amazing life of comedy, bringing comedy to people, for literally making millions and millions of people laugh, to the point where I became the Comedian of the Year at the American Comedy Awards. Now, little Craig Shoemaker would never thought something like that. But here I was, Lily Tomlin and Roseanne handed me this trophy of the best comedian in the whole country. And I said, wow. And I have to tell you, it was the loneliest night of my life. Because what I'm going to teach you today is about presence and mindfulness and not having an agenda. It's not about the outcome of how I'm going to be famous or whatever it was, and that's what it was about back then. It's about the income, not the outcome. I'm going to give you some tools today for your income. Put into your income different things that we can do that make yourself better, more present, more filled with laughter, and filled with joy to bring that to the world. What do you say? Is that a good deal? Is that a good deal? So I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to bring up Sherry here, Sherry Hersey. Sherry is the leader here of Unity, this beautiful place of congregation that they have here every Sunday, and other things that they do. I love that you do other things, like you show funny movies, you had Shrek and Defending Your Life, and that's what you do with your community. That's how you build your community, also through laughter. So one of the goals I have is laughter is very spiritual, but so many people are spiritual, not you, are so serious. I need to sit on a rock in Sedona for enlightenment. I need to go up to you and go namaste and all other, whatever it is. I have to do those things to feel enlightened. They're very serious. I say, let's take laughter seriously. And then the comedians are very cynical. Sawan's a comedian. Genevieve is a comedian. You know what I'm talking about. It's a lot of cynicism, a lot of sarcasm. It's like sarcasm is tearing flesh. That's what it literally is. So a lot of comedians, their community is built on negativity and 1 o'clock in the morning and making fun of one another. But I don't think they understand the spirituality of comedy and laughter, because it's really the truth. The comedians bring the truth. We expose the truth. So you call it God, call it whatever you want. So my goal is to build a bridge from the woo-woo to the ha-ha. This is my goal. This is my calling. And anyway, I want to bring Sherry up here to talk to you about a little bit about us and how this happened, how we are here at this beautiful facility, which is perfect. We live streaming. Thank you for being here for the live stream. And this is great. So this is Sherry, and Sherry and I met through your husband. I guess you're going to tell
my husband, Rick.
Yes.
Around here, I'm known as Rev Cher, or Reverend Sherry. An ordained Unity minister, recently ordained actually in May. And probably right after that is when we did Craig's podcast.
Yes.
So some of you may know that Craig used to open for Kenny Loggins many years ago, right?
I toured with him.
You toured with him.
As a kid, and I had never played theaters before, and all of a sudden I was launched into this tour in many cities, and there I was in front of everybody. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And actually getting reviewed for the first time. Comedians don't get reviewed.
How old were you?
I was like 23 or something.
Wow.
And I ended up touring with Kenny, and here's the best part. I don't think you know this. Kenny, we're about to open on Broadway. I love Broadway. I'm a big Broadway guy. I know all this. I'm just a freak for West Side Story and Wicked and Les Miserables. Anyway.
I love that about you.
There it said Kenny Loggins, and it had my name in lights on Broadway. My mom came, all of Philadelphia, all my friends from Philadelphia came up on the train. They were wasted, but that's another story. And Kenny says before the show, he goes, I'm freaking out. Trish is sick. Can you sing bass? I sang all week long on Broadway with Kenny Loggins. So I replaced the singer. And I'm really not a bass, by the way. I'm more of a baritone. But we're
gonna get him up here to sing with us one of these days. I started out here in the music as the music director for almost 10 years prior to COVID coming, and my finding I had some time in my hands while we were online. I went to seminary and decided to become a minister.
Yeah.
So I took the leap. But today I got to sing, which was really fun. And
Singing,
I see you in the back, and I'm thinking, I should be having Craig up here singing.
Well, if you hear some of my stories, you don't want me singing.
No,
I did pretty well with Kenny. The beginning of Footloose, or I'm All Right from Caddyshack.
Yes.
That was my part. Anyway.
And then later became my husband's part,
That's exactly right. Your husband is amazing. He says, and by the way, singing and song is a celebration of life, and so is laughter. So this is about bringing that together as well. I saw Kenny's second to last performance, and Kenny's an old friend of mine. Does everybody know who Kenny Loggins is? A lot of people don't know. The young people don't know. We know. Thank you. I guess you're representing the we. So Kenny just has so many hits, and I went to see his second to last show, and there was Rick, and I have to tell you, his energy is what brought me to go to you both and be on my podcast. He blew me away with his energy, and I had been touring with Kenny for years, but he brings something so special, a joy he brings to everything he does. And by the way, I used to coach Kenny in comedy as well. You know the interstitial stuff that you do?
Yeah.
It makes for a great concert if they say something funny in the middle. I mean, some people are so boring when they're doing this song I wrote when I was depressed. And,
Oh,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
so I would have Kenny tell jokes and about
And
true
his
stories.
act is very, very funny.
Yeah,
And
now it is.
so Rick is now here as the music director, but
Yeah.
he's out of town this weekend. So we miss you, Rick. He's on his way back from Canada. But that's how we met. We did a podcast, and
Yes.
at that time, I did not know who he was as a soul, as a person, as a presence, and his purpose in life. But he was talking about it and talking about spirituality on the podcast. And inside, I was secretly sitting there thinking, we're very like-minded, and he's going to
Yeah.
figure this out one day. And he actually came to mind in a meditation when I was thinking about doing a comedy class and or workshop. And because Suwan had introduced us originally to Craig as well. Suwan is part of our congregation as a stand-up. And I thought, wow, Craig, I should call Craig. I think he lives somewhere near. And I think it was 2 days he
Yeah.
called trying to reach me.
Yes.
Through Rick.
Very difficult, by the way.
And it's hard. My husband doesn't answer his texts. So he called, and I saw his name on Rick's phone, and I said, I'll take that. And I picked it up, and I said, yes, whatever you're asking, yes,
Yeah.
because I know that we're supposed to do something together. So, and then he came up with the concept of comedy and unity as community, and that's really who we are, and that's a big part of who we are as community. And then last week I did a presentation on dopamine and endorphins and hugging
Yeah.
and all the things that we do here in togetherness, because unity is a synonym for togetherness. And I was talking a lot about what that does to heal us both emotionally and physically. And I put up a slide that said all of these attributes to hugging, and he came up to me afterwards and said, that's the same as laughter. So he wanted me to share that.
Yes, I want
Thank
you to share that. I was sitting there, and I've done a lot of studies on laughter. We're going to get to that. Laughter is really the greatest medicine. Why are we not going for more comedy for our pharmacy? Did you ever ask yourself that? Does it really heal? Does the laughter really heal? Is it the greatest medicine? Why are we not focusing on that? And we're focusing on all the negativity, the wars, the drugs that take you more side effects. Laughter has the greatest side effects. But tell us some of the side
here.
effects. Exactly.
Well,
my
that's
book
it.
is called Get Out of Line and Into Alignment. That's the title
that.
of my book. If you're in alignment with oneself, not all these outside things, all these outside forces, you're in alignment. That's what brought us together. It's what brought us together today. However, whatever the size is, that's whatever the size is, and we work with that. So anyway, so tell the benefits. This is what you're all going to get at home. This is what you're going to get. If you add more laughter to your life, these are the benefits.
Well, some of them, I think the biggest one is the oxytocin that is released, which is like the love drug whenever you're hugged, whenever you're touched. And when we were talking about this, we had a woman sitting in the front row who had Parkinson's, and she takes dopamine like 7 times a day. And I'm sharing how much dopamine is released, and she's suddenly realizing, I need community, I need hugs.
Yeah.
All of it was about the physical and emotional benefits of touch, of hugging, the intimacy that it creates, the bonds that it creates, how it allows you to heal from the inside out, and what that does. And Craig walked up to me afterwards and said, that's my whole workshop, and I already know because I've seen it. I'm going to let you take over from here.
The love drug, exactly. And
I'm the love master, baby.
We know that, baby.
Yeah, that's
I'm retiring
I
off the
overdose on that
stage.
drug, baby.
It's all yours, Lovey.
Well, thank you very much.
He's
Sherry.
brilliant. He has a
Sherry.
great thing to share.
Thank you, Sherry. Thanks for having us. That's not the only thing that it does when you laugh. It oxygenates your body. Healing endorphins are being released when you laugh. Think about this. I mean, just really put it in your mind. We're going to, again, you take your stress level, whatever you have going on, we're going to lower it today. We're also going to set intentions. And just remember, laughter is a big stress relief. Stress is the #1 cause of illness and disease, right? But watch the news, it's the exact opposite. First thing I want to tell you is don't watch the news anymore, okay? I've tried this. I'm on a news fast, and I feel fantastic. I love my life so much more when I'm not hearing all the things that they choose for me to see to create fear in me. Then the drug company sponsors the news that handles the anxiety they just gave you. That's the cycle that we're on. And it's been going on for years. It's not, I mean, it's recently, it's much worse. A lot of us are old, but we don't remember drug commercials growing up. The worst we had was like an aspirin commercial, but now it's all these boner pills and and everything. It's like mispronounce. You can't even pronounce the names of some of these things. These drugs that you're putting into you. You have no idea. I started working in a cancer facility when I started doing this work, and I cannot believe the names of the things that they are putting into them to make themselves well. Think about that. Even that alone, they take something called, cancer patients take the Red Death, it's called. I mean, just think about that. Just the condition you're in, the vibration you're in. Is, oh, I'm putting something in me called the Red Death, or an oxen. Something always has an oxen in it. That sounds like toxin to me. I said, why don't we rename it? Why don't we call it Santa Claus? You know, you're putting Santa Claus into your body, something jolly and merry and ho, 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 and ha, ha, ha. Why don't we do that? Why don't we start switching things around? This is one of my purposes, is to really start small, build this community where we can all be funcilitators. We can all do with the work that I'm doing. We could all pass this around and build a community and really have people understand it. Hey, why don't you take the time you're going to watch the news and come watch this? Learn how you can be funnier. Think about the people you hang out with in your life. Who do you hang out with? Do you have memories of your best friend? Raise your hand if you have a best friend you grew up with, that you from childhood. What's your best friend's name? Your sister Annette. Okay. And you smiled when you said her name. Did you realize that? You smiled? A smile, by the way, releases healing enzymes. Every time you smile. In Asia, there are parts of Asia, they actually ride bicycles with chopsticks in their mouths so they can have a smile. And that smile is releasing enzymes, so they're happier that way. And happiness is such a good thing. So tell me one little thing about when you were growing up. How did she make you laugh? You both misunderstand things, and you have it in common. See, you're laughing already at just the thought of that. Yeah.
And sometimes we laugh so hard, and then we can't stop laughing.
You can't stop laughing. Isn't that amazing?
Right.
And laughter's contagious, by the way. Isn't this a contagion that we want? We all saw the contagion, and it took us over and locked us down and away from each other. My God, we couldn't commune. We couldn't commune. We couldn't be together. We couldn't commune in comedy and laughter. We were shut down. I was doing Zoom shows for 2 years. This is great to wear pants, by the way. This is fantastic. This is a big relief for me to wear pants. So I want to proclaim something that you could proclaim for yourself. What do you want today in the way of health? Mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, physical health. What would you like to proclaim and shift? Think about that for yourself. Something you really want to achieve, and I'm going to take you down the pathway to do that. Visualize what you would like to change. Go ahead, take a moment. Now, as you're thinking of that, breathe in through your nose and let out a ha. Let's lock that in. I'm going to give you some tools today. I'm giving you some tools for living. This is not just about going to a comedy show. One of the things I've discovered is laughter is different than comedy. Comedy is subjective. I don't know if you're all familiar with it. Norman Cousins, he wrote a book called Anatomy of an Illness. And he had a disease that was incurable, and he was supposed to die from it. And he locked himself in a room with 3 Stooges tapes and candid camera, and he laughed himself well. He lived another 30 years. And that's Norman Cousins. Patch Adams, a lot of you are familiar with Patch Adams. Robin Williams, the great comedian, did a feature film about Patch Adams. Now, this was the inspiration to me. If I see something, I think, I'm a little off on that. I think, okay, how can you be inspired to make it better? Not criticize someone, how could I make that better? And what I thought of is there's a difference between comedy and laughter. That's when I came up with this. If a guy showed up in my hospital room with clown shoes, I'm going to pull the plug. I'm not laughing. It doesn't make me laugh. So what can we do about that? I created something called guided Laughitation. How many meditate? Anybody meditate here? Okay, I don't know about you. When I meditate, I'm thinking about stuff. It's very hard for me to concentrate, to be there, to be present for meditation. It's very difficult. I'm not saying I don't do it. I'm just saying I was never the greatest meditator. I'll be meditating. I'm going, oh my God, I left the dog alone. She's going to get the food, or whatever it is. Something happens to me that disturbs the force. And when you're laughing, doing guided Laughitation, you're truly absolute presence, absolute mindfulness. You literally cannot be depressed while you're laughing. You cannot be angry while you're laughing. Let's try it right now. Breathe through your nose and let out a ha-ha. Start laughing and say, I'm depressed. Ready? I'm depressed. Anybody depressed? No. Might be right now, but not then. So a lot of these discoveries happen because, first of all, they were born out of my own health. I had Crohn's disease. I had panic attacks, just debilitating panic attacks. Imagine that, by the way, having a panic attack. And I've performed in front of 75,000 people twice. Imagine having a panic attack in front of that many people. Or a crowd of people, of an audience that's there to see me. They paid money to see me, and I've gone with a full-on panic attack where I'm sweating and just my heart is pounding. I think I'm going to die. There was a guy named Dick Shawn, this great comedian who's in a few movies. The Producers is one of them. The guy's hilarious. And he died on a stage doing his work during his act. He actually said, I'm going to go take a rest. And the audience thought, because he was so avant-garde, that it was part of his act. He died there. And his son was his stage manager. He thought it was part of the act, too. He died on a stage, which is a great way to go. Albert Brooks, the great Albert Brooks, his father died on a stage at the Friars Club. So listen to this. Here's the bad news on that. During my panic attack, I'm going to be Dick Shawn. I'm going to die right now. So that would come up through my mind. Now, what's the way out of that? What's the way to bring myself to presence? I laugh. I do a guided laughitation or a chuckle chatter. I call it a chuckle chatter also. I do that. And I also think to myself, be of service to others. And being of service to others takes me out of myself, takes me out of my agenda, takes me out of, I need an award. That's what I told you. That was the loneliest night of my life. When I win this big award, I'm going, now what? Now what? Just because they said that I deserve this award, am I truly deserving? Am I an imposter? What's this all about? When I got to that, the pinnacle, it's the Oscars of comedy, that was the loneliest night of my life. And then I see comedians resenting me. So here's I wanted love all this time, and the opposite happened. So that's why I say it's income, not outcome. Just if I keep increasing my income of laughter, and I'll tell you the story that really inspired me. So I do this character, the Love Master, and it's done very well for me. It's this character that all the girls in high school would use the F word with me, friend. I was always the friend. And I didn't like that. I was very tiny in high school. And I couldn't stand it that they would call me a friend and they would take me to the bathroom with them. You know, girls go together in high school, the posse P. They took me with them. That's what a geek I was. And I didn't like it. And so to bat up against that, I developed this character, the Love Master, because he's a sexual ethereal. He's very confident. And all the guys they would go for were these confident guys who were like really all that, you know? So that's why this Love Master character, yeah, baby, oh, I got confidence, baby. So that's how he channels through me, this other guy. I became somebody else other than myself. I'm out of my consciousness, out of my thoughts and fears that they're going to reject me, and I'm in this other presence. It's truly a character that channels through. So they made a movie about it with Farrah Fawcett plays my lover. Everybody remember Farrah Fawcett? And she grabbed my junk, by the way. Anyway, that's a whole other story. But anyway, so during rehearsal, I couldn't believe it. But by the way, that's a manifestation of something crazy for me. I mean, I've had all these manifestations of life that are absolutely insane, that of where it turned out. And I say this so if you're at home or whatever it is, if you are bleak and you don't have promise in your life, I promise you that these dreams come true. They always come true in a different form, though. Like, I can never believe that this woman that I had as a poster, and when I was a kid, a poster on my wall, that here she was rehearsing with me with my movie. And it was directed by my friend Michael Goldberg. And he and I bonded. We're laughers from way back. We're Philadelphia. We bond through this Philadelphia Eagles games. And he's just this wonderful guy who wrote Cool Runnings. He wrote Little Giants. He's a really great comedy writer. We bond through laughter, just like you were saying. You bond with your sister. You all have a best friend you bonded with growing up. It's like the giggles and sharing that fun and that joy. Go for the more of that. He and I shared that constantly. And we're filming the movie The Love Master. And a lot of people come up to me after my show. A number of people, at least 5 I can count on the top of my head, that said, the first one that ever said, it said, we couldn't have a child. They said we couldn't conceive. We watched your show. I guess the guy pretended he was the Love Master, and now they have a baby. So it's a fertility clinic when you laugh, because my theory is the reason is people that are trying to have a child or trying to do something, what happens? Are you in genuine energy flow? No, you're not. You're in the flow of tension and anxiety and having a goal that's not going to be achieved as long as you have that tension. So these people said, yeah, we have a baby now. It was a girl, so they didn't name Craig. But and somebody else came up to me and said the same thing. And so then we were filming the movie in Arizona, and his wife Karen, my original blind date, by the way, he married her, but that's cool. And she says, I'm ovulating. We're in a condo. And she says, and I said, well, do the Love Master. I'll go get sandwiches. We're about to watch our Eagles. And I came back. He was already done. And baby Kayla was born 9 months later. And yeah, she was born in laughter. She was born in joy. She was born in the light. She was born because everything was in alignment. And that's how you get into alignment, as you laugh. Well, here's the sad part of the story. And he wanted this baby so much. He just loves her. And a year and a half after, he got brain cancer. And they gave him 3 months to live. Now that was my ha-ha moment. That was the moment I said, is laughter really the best medicine? Damn it, I could lose one of my best friends is about to die. What can I do about this? I've been a solution guy my whole life. I'm a fixer, a rescuer, whatever it is. I'm that. And for better or for worse. And in this case, I said, damn it, I'm going to go. I worked this out in a cancer facility, what you're about to see today. What you're about to see is these are significant tools that you can use to find your own joy, your own laughter, your own funny bone, and make you funny. Everyone can be funny, by the way. This isn't about a stand-up class, or it could be if you want to do stand-up. But it's all about finding your true self, your true joy, your true passion, your true compassion, your true empathy, your true love. And I started in this place in the valley. It's called We Spark. And it was founded by Wendy Jo Sperber, who's a great actress and really funny herself. And I worked in there, and I developed this program of Laughitation and chuckle chatter and asking people. Everything came instinctually because I've noticed all of these things through the years, and it all came together. I've been with laughers, millions of laughs, probably millions of people I've laughed with. So these are all the observations, and it came to me through spirit. And I just let it go. And I would bring it to them. And I would try something different. And there was a mother-daughter there. And they would laugh together. And it was so beautiful to watch that. You know, she knew her mom was going to die. But why not die laughing? Why not die in joy instead of sorrow? We all grieve that way. So many people grieve that way. In sorrow, it has to be this way. Do you think the person who dies wants that for you? Or do they want you to be joyful and free and happy? Do you think they want, you think some people, it depends on the person. Some of them, somebody, you should be miserable the rest of your life, what you did to me. I think they are out there, but they're not our vibration, are they? I can't buy in other people's vibration, and I used to do that. So I watched these, and I was just observed. I wrote everything down and came up with this Laugh for Life program. And Gold showed up for all of it. My friend Michael Goldberg, he showed up so much. One of the prescriptions is, which I'll give to you, is go to as many comedy shows as possible. And he showed up at all my shows. I had a restraining order. It was that bad. I mean, it was like unbelievable. There he is again. There he is again. It was like, where's Waldo? There's Waldo. And there he was again laughing. And he was going through such pain, too. The chemotherapy, they planted a chemotherapy chip in his brain. And he just went through all of it. There was a team of us. We used to shoot him with whatever he needed to be shot with. It was really a painful experience, but also a joyful one. He showed up for all of it through pain, and he transmuted that pain into laughter. And we had, one time he was standing up in Philadelphia. We're both from Philadelphia, which I'm sure you've heard how nasty they are in Philadelphia, the fans. And he stands up at a game, and a guy behind him goes, down in front. And we lean back, we go, he's having a seizure, he has cancer. And the guy behind him goes, I don't care. Sit down, I can't see through this asshole. That's Philadelphia for you. But we laughed at that. I watched a couple people when I told that story. Go, ooh, that's a little rough. No, it's not, because he chose to laugh. Why we condition ourselves? This is about reconditioning, by the way, and reprogramming our thoughts. In Philadelphia, they go, what are you laughing at? I'll wipe that smile off your face. These are the things these are the memes that are inside of us that we need to reprogram and get them out. We need to get this stuff, you know. Wait, can you believe it? What are you laughing at? And it's said not in a way like, what are you laughing at? I'm curious. No, they're saying, what are you laughing at? They're offended by your laughter. There's so much complaining and so much anger out there. And so it's all a projection because it's being projected back to us. You know what one of my goals is? All those, stop global whining. There's so much whining that's going on and complaining and accusing and pointing fingers. Let's point it inside of ourselves and look for where we can find more joy. That's what I got out of growing up in Philadelphia and a lot of misery. Misery does love company, but how about we make a group of laughter that loves company, that enjoys one another, that connects with one another? A divine connection happens when we laugh. He shows up for all of it. And one of the prescriptions was also comedy movies. I'd have people share their favorite comedy movies. By the way, think of it, because we're going to call on you later. Comedy movies, favorite sitcoms you grew up with. We do impressions of some of the people that we used to watch growing up. We would have fun just have fun and let go. And don't worry about people judging how bad your impression is of Archie Bunker or whatever. Oh, geez. I mean, we would imitate people, and just everyone brought this to this cancer facility. And I must tell you, the most difficult observation that I made was it was the caregivers almost had it worse. The caregivers, you might be a caregiver. It is, and I feel for you, I have empathy for you, because I watched people. They're more powerless than the people who are the patients, because the patients kind of know what's going on. They know they can dictate somewhat of what's going to happen, their outcome. The person on the outside is completely powerless. So we made this about the caregivers as well. And I remember a husband being so, what am I laughing at? She's got cancer. He was so angry. And as I was telling you, Golds, when he stood up, he had a seizure at this game, and the guy goes down in front. And then the guy says, you sit down. He's like yelling for him to sit down. He doesn't care he has cancer. And you know what? We laughed about it. We didn't get angry at this guy. We laughed about it. These are the conditions. Sometimes you can be present to whatever your conditions are. So he shows up for all of it. And he lived 15 years past that 3 months. 15 years past the 3 months. So his daughter, who was born, it was a year and a half, got to watch him, got to be with him all that time. And when he finally passed away, I made him laugh on his deathbed, by the way. He was in hospice, and I made him laugh. And he went out of a coma and laughed one last time. And that gift, I will never forget that gift as long as I live. That's the best laughter I ever received in my life, was watching one of my best friends who was about to die 2 days later, to watch him laugh one more time, to connect with his true spirit, that's who he truly is, was a gift that I cannot believe how powerful it is for me. It sends me to this day to keep doing this. So you can also have that. You can also bring that joy and that gift to others. If ever they're in pain, if ever you're in pain, that's the option. That's the option. Not wipe the smile off your face. Make a smile on your face. Not what are you laughing at. Be curious about what are you laughing at. Share that with me. You're going to share later what your favorite comedy movies are. And just watch when you say the name of the movie, how watch people smile. That's how easy it is to bring laughter to people. You don't have to be a comedian. A lot of people are up there, well, you're a comedian. Of course you know how to do it. It doesn't matter. I wasn't trained, by the way. I wasn't trained to be a comedian. I got no gifts from anybody. I got no money to put myself through college doing comedy. But how did that happen? There were no mentors back then. There was none of that. No, it was just, how did it happen? I followed my love, light, and levity. So the first step is, in the acronym of laughter that I'll bring you to, is love. That's L, is love. Is you list what you love, and you think about how you fell in love with that, why you're in love with that, when it happened, how it makes you feel, the senses, the smells, the sounds of that love. If you think about that love, it sends you, understand every great sitcom and every great film, all the great funny films all have love at the base. They certainly don't have hate at the base. They don't have disdain at the base. They don't have fear at the base. They have love at the base of every single great thing you've ever seen or felt was all from love. I love laughter. That's at the top of my list today. I made a little list for myself today. And I want you to think about the thing that you love, and you're going to share that later as well. Think about what you love and why you love it, how you fell in love. It could be the simplest thing. I love cashews, and I have an amazing story about cashews, how I fell in love with cashews. They were rich people food. And now every time I buy cashews, I feel good about myself. I feel like I'm loving myself to buy these cashews, which are more expensive than any other nut, maybe macadamia. But I love them too. But I love laughter so much that I remember bonding with my family. Those are the greatest moments of my life. We had a very difficult childhood. I thought the word evict meant move. I thought they were the same word. Here's the eviction truck, Mommy, and I'd pack up and move again. I still hold a box handy, ready for them to take me away. This is what my childhood was. It was filled with chaos and mayhem. But the one thing that we always bonded with was laughter. We'd sit around the television at together. Community, by the way, which doesn't exist right now as we scroll by ourselves. We're not watching things with each other. That's why you're here today. And I wish there were more of you here today. And hopefully this is going to grow because you're going to pass the word about how you feel when you're not scrolling, when you're not doing something just self. Okay, there's a hit, okay. It's a false hit. What happens with community is it's not false. It's so real. When you feel love, what better feeling is there? That's God, if you want to call it God, light, source, force, whatever you want to call it. The force is with you. It's with you at all times. Access that. My first laughter was with my mom watching Hollywood Squares. I'm going to tell you how destiny happens. I proclaimed that Paul Lynde, the center square, was going to be my father. And I proclaimed that this would be my father. And he was the center square. He was the funniest of all. My mom loved him. And she thought he was cute. She said he's cute, and he's adorable, and he's handsome, and he was a confirmed bachelor. I didn't know why. Couldn't figure it out anyway. But the ass guy might have been a giveaway. So I wrote him letters to fix him up with my mother. And I said, "Dear Paul Lynde, you should meet my mother. Maybe you'll unconfirm as a bachelor," because he was a confirmed bachelor. And I would ask him questions. I used to write to him. I'd send it to Hollywood, the studios. Does Toady Fields really have a wooden leg? How do you get in those squares? And my dream, folks, was to be the first. He would adopt me, marry my mother, and we'd be the first father and son team on Hollywood Squares. That was my dream. Like the contestant would go, "I like Craig and Paul Lynde for the win, please." And we'd be in the box, "Take it, son. It's a sports question." This is my dream. So sometimes the dreams take a different route, but they still are your dreams. I want you to write down your intentions today for your purpose and your meaning and your being of service. Write those down. Think about these things, and we're going to go over them later. So if that was mine, and in a non-specific way, my dreams came true, because who knew the little Craig Shoemaker, who Paul Lynde never wrote back? He died in the 80s, but they brought that show back, and I was on 75 episodes of Hollywood Squares. So their little dream came true. And Whoopi, the center square, used to let me visit the square during the commercial break, and she would be Paul Lynde. "I'm your father." So those are little simple dreams. And that dream, by the way, we can all have those dreams manifest. That made a bunch of people smile in here. That's what you can do, is share your dreams with people and watch them smile. But share the dream of love. That was at the base of everything. Love and laughter was at the base of all that I did. And taking those moves of writing the letters and proclaiming he was going to be my father was all about love. That's all I wanted. That's all we all want, right? So list what you love. That's the L in laughter. Shift. We're going to transmute some of the pain that we have and turn it into laughter. The next is acceptance. Every single great sitcom, all the films, all the comedy you've ever heard, you don't realize this. This is about the alchemy of laughter, by the way. I'm going to break this down for you. It's all about conflict, right? Which is a lack of acceptance. It's something the writer, the performer, you do not accept. And it's that conflict that we have a tough time with. But if you have love at the base, then you can talk about. I have somebody. Actually, she opened for me, and she walks on stage and she goes, "I hate my children." I went, "Ooh." "I hate my husband." And then she says, "He should die." So I talked to her later, not happy with that I was coaching her, but I really, if it's my stage, I want people on it to kind of represent me. And that vibration was not for me. So I actually said something to her, and she objected to this. She called me weeks later, "How dare you coach me?" And I said, "No, I'm happy that I did," because she did shift her joke into, "Have you ever thought, I love my ex-husband, but you ever thought it'd be better if he wasn't around?" See, it's a much better way to present the joke. You're not saying, "I wish he'd die," and you hate your kids. You ever have the thought that my kids, I just love them, whatever it is, reframe it where you have love at the base. And people can have an understanding and connection with you that way. So what do you not accept? Think about those things. And sometimes they're really funny. I have a hard time accepting people that talk loud when we're about to take off in the airplane and they're still on their phone. I go out of my mind. And I don't know if anybody relates to that. Anybody talking loud where did payphones go? Oh my God. Where's the phone booth when you need one? We need phone booths. We need to bring back the phone booth. I said, where does Superman change anymore anyway? So the next is unique. That's the U is unique. What makes you unique? I have several things that make me unique. My mom belly danced at my high school graduation party, pretty unique. That's no joke either. I wrote one down. What do I have here? Oh, here's a unique one. I never had a cup of coffee. And that's very unique because I can't believe this country, how addicted or how much it's just a part of living. There's literally a coffee cup at every single meal. There's a coffee cup and they turn it over. I've never turned it over once. You know, at the back home, they got the diner waitresses, you know, with they go, what do you want, hun? You want some coffee, hun? You know, and I would go, no. I always go, no, I don't want coffee. And it started with, in ninth grade, I was really, really drunk. When I was a kid, I did not want to live. I tried to commit suicide. I made a noose out of neckties. I tied them over this closet, and I tied them to the doorknob, and I dangled there. I made a noose, and I dangled. I was 13. I had just had a horrible experience. And this tells you about my take on life. I laugh about it. You can laugh about anything. My mom walked in there. I really wanted her attention and her love. That's probably why I was doing it. She walks in and goes, oh, my God, what are you doing? She says, those are new neckties. Get up. Half of you are going, that's so sad. And half of you are going, that's pretty funny. It's pretty funny because and it's the truth. The truth is funny. Why avoid it? Why avoid it with these things that we tell ourselves that we're programmed? You know, we're programmed we are born love, light, and levity. You know that, right? We're born. Simplest things make us laugh. Peekaboo makes you laugh. Where'd that go? How come the children laugh? Children laugh an average of 300 times a day. We laugh 20. Why is that not a priority? Why are we not laughing more? Let's put it at the top of our lists. That's our goal. People put goals all the time. They put it on they teach you go to these seminars. Put a Post-it note up. Here's my goal is to have $20,000 by the end of the day. You know, what if it doesn't happen? It's an unreasonable expectation. What if you put the goal is, I'm going to laugh more? Instead of a Fitbit, you have a laugh bit. And you start to be proud of yourself. Oh my God, I hit 500 today. How good are you going to feel? You want to be fit, be spiritually fit, be emotionally fit, and that's how to get there. You laugh more. It's that simple. How are you going to do that? Let's keep getting to that. You're going to list these things, by the way, because all of these things, all these truths of you is who you are. So I can teach you how to be a better storyteller. Be a better storyteller and watch what happens. Watch the connection you have with people, a divine connection that can't be compromised because you're just bringing you. I see a lot of coaches now. My ex-wife is a coach, and I'm laughing about it. She joined a cult, and I'm dealing with this to this day. I mean, that makes me unique too. Not a lot of people have a ex-wife is a cult in a cult, but I am learning how to use the alchemy of laughter to have fun with that, and not take it so serious. And you could say a lot of the stuff that she's done is really serious, like really tough stuff. But I've got to find where can I make fun of myself? Myself reacts in ways that are not going to serve me or my family. I react in, I said this last week, I have never sent her one of my long-winded emails, which have great intention, I believe. The goal is I have never sent one, pressed enter, and she says back, I've never thought of it that way. Thank you for sharing. I am enlightened now, Craig. I'm going to look for more laughter. You're waiting. Never. That's my story. But what I find with the coaches is they're going, here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to do. And this is my other suggestion. I'm going to give you a lot of suggestions today. Make it your story on what it did for you, what you're telling them to do. So if you say you need to put a Post-it note on your mirror, let's say that is the case, tell people, I put a Post-it note on my mirror, and here's what happened. Here's what manifested. I'm going to respect it so much more, but it's just filled with coaches out there that are not living what they're coaching, therapists that don't live what they're coaching. So be your own coach. I'm my own coach. I listen to the divine answers that are in there, They're all in there because we're all born love, light, and levity. Then we're programmed to believe we're not. We're programmed to comply. We're programmed to get in line. That's why my book is called Get in Aligned into Alignment. Get in my own alignment. My own alignment's going, oh man, I feel great. Here's another tip for you. Somebody says, how are you? What does everybody say? Good. Fine. I'm above ground. Yeah, it's okay. Right? That's how people answer. The people I coach, I say, how are you? I test them all the time. Come up with a word that is magnificent. Some word, I say, fantastic. And every person responds because it's out of the ordinary. You're putting an impact on the people. You're changing it. By the way, that's what a joke is. Did you know that? A joke is boom. A change, boom. That's what it is. It's an abrupt change. Just by you saying that changes all the vibration. So come up with a word. I have a guy that he actually works for me now. Every day I say, how are you? He goes, fantastic. And then it just makes people, made a couple of you laugh. And that's what it does. It's immediate. There's an immediate reflection that takes place. My mom, every single time, I could call her right now and show you. I'll say, she'll go, how are you? Because she's very tentative and very nervous about life. She's still in her fear. We have an amazing relationship, by the way. And that's what laughter did with us as well. We didn't speak for 4 or 5 years. And now I can't wait to talk to my mom. I just spent 9 straight days with my mom. She tried to get rid of me every single day, and I laughed about it. She says, I'm set in my ways. Can't you find a hotel? I just laugh. It's okay. I accept her exactly the way she is. And we laugh together constantly. We laugh at her trying to kick me out. And I made it 9 days. I didn't get kicked out. I didn't leave. Because I knew that she really, and she ended up calling me a few weeks later. She goes, I have to tell you the truth. I've been taking depression medicine. When you were here, you uplifted me. I stopped the medication. That's what my mom said to me, a person who wouldn't even speak to me. And that's how much laughter and joy, and put that into all your relations. And again, I'm not saying you do that. I'm saying I did that. Hopefully you can too. Inject it into all of your relationships and watch the results. The results are my mom calling me up. And then when she says, how are you? She says with her little defensive way. And I go, fantastic. And she goes, that's what I like to hear. And she'll always go, your sister's the opposite. She's miserable and angry. She'll tear a strip off you. And she goes off of my sister, who doesn't speak to me, by the way. But I hold her. I hold her in joy because I know the joyful times we ever had together. And I embrace those times like you do with your sister. We make each other laugh more than anyone, but she decided to shut that down. That's her path. I will always be here with my path and my energy. So we're taught to get in line, and you know what you get? You get an A. You get rewarded. You're going to memorize something, regurgitate it back to me. You're going to tell me Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492, the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria. Very good. You get an A, Craig. What good does that do me today that I know that? You know, impressed? I happen to memorize a poem that told me who discovered America when he really didn't. You know what I mean? It's like they teach us these things. They teach you, here you get an A. Go to war. We tell you to go to war. We give you a medal. Give you a nice burial. If you just do what we tell you to do, you get rewarded. Does anybody think these are rewards? It's teachers, peers, parents. They tell you to do it our way. But nobody's telling you. Very few people say, just find more laughter in your life. That's the goal to put on the mirror. Find more laughter. Discover the true funny bone that is you. It's in every one of you. And I know we have these outside conditions that tell us otherwise. They make us miserable. By the way, when Golds died, he eventually did die. We all do. We didn't have a funeral. We had a funeral. We made fun of him. I made fun of him. I said, because he had so many lives, he seemed to come back all the time. I would say, I got up on stage. I said, you know, he's going to come through that curtain right now. And everybody laughed because they had the same experience of Golds. And he would only want this to make fun. And then his daughter got up, who's in 17. She got to be with him all these, and she said that. We kept him alive. So she got to know him. And she said, then when she heard from us, she said, now I know my dad, not as a sick man. Now I know who he really was. His true spirit was funny. And that's what we brought to her. And then she made us cry. There wasn't one dry eye in the house for that funeral. But we really made sure that we let him go in laughter, because that's what he brought to us. And he's still he's alive to this day, because I watched Cool Runnings with my kids, and he wrote that movie. These are the legacies we can leave with people. You leave them with the memory of how you made them laugh, or how you shared a laugh. You don't have to make anybody laugh. You just share the laughter and see what happens. That's why this is called winning with laughter. You win every single time. You know, I could be losing right now. I have a fantasy draft I forgot about. I'm in fantasy league. I forgot when I set this time. I'm going, my God, it's the first day of football season, but it's okay. So G is for grateful. What are you grateful for? You set that energy to the world instead of one of entitlement. I think there's a lot of entitlement going on. This is what I observe in the world. There's so much entitlement, and people are chasing more entitlement. I'm on dating apps, and they'll say, treat me like a queen. Really? Where'd you get that from? Where do you get that? Treat me like a queen. That's a command and a demand. What does it mean? What does it mean, treat me like that? It doesn't make any sense to me. But this is how we're taught. Treat me like a queen. How about we be the king and be the queen, or whatever it is, of your own domain and your own happiness and your own joy. Be that and see what comes to you, not what you command to happen. And the entitlement thing, when we're watching these people, I don't want to name names, but there's like a group of a family that really, they're on TV for a long time. Yeah, anyway, I watch it, I go, oh, is this something I want my children to do? Is this what I want them to do? Is to put the show out there, but not the feel? Is this what I think we should be in conflict all the time, and anger and spite and resentment? Is this what I want for my children? I always think that now that I have kids. What do I want them to, what values do I want? So the number one in our family is laughter. That's our number one, and gratitude leads us there. So since they were born, 4 children, every one of them, no matter who the wife was. I don't want to put all my eggs in one uterus. Anyway, so we do gratitude lists around the dinner table. One of my great memories is my second child. He's adopted, actually. But the second child, his grateful was, he was so simple. I love when things are just this simple. We would all go, I'm grateful for the opportunity I had today to audition for a part that looks like whatever it is. He would just go, I'm grateful for the whole wide world. That's all he would say. And I still remember it. It's such a joy. Now he's 20, but he was 2 or whatever at the time. And it's amazing to watch people immerse themselves in gratitude. And speaking of gratitude, I got to get it, not that he's watching it, it's my son's birthday today. My son's 15th birthday today. And I'm in such gratitude for this boy. It was the first time I was ever a midwife. This wife decided to do a home birth in a pool, and we didn't have the birthing tub. I had to blow up like a raft. I had to blow it up with my lungs, this thing. That's, the man's got to do something. So that was my assignment. Well, it turned into something else. 15 years ago, almost to this minute, she was 21 hours in labor. Wow. And the midwife was there. I didn't know what was going on. I won't get into details, but finally it's time for him to come. And then he's in the water, or she's in the water. I filled up the tub. I'm constantly, because I want to be the good guy, the good husband. I've always been that guy. I've always been, what can I do? What can I do to make sure that she's okay and she loves me, And so I'm pouring the water in there. I got it all warm for her. And then it was funny because anybody ever take birthing classes? Anybody ever done the birthing classes? No, nobody's ever done this. They have the guy is the coach, okay? There has never been more of a bullshit thing in your entire life. There's no way that the guy is they're just trying to give a guy some value. And I swear to you, this is true. I was going, okay, breathe. Your head is an empty eggshell. I'm trying to do this while she's in labor. And I'll never forget, she turns to me, I'm thinking, love is going to bring this child. Here we go. Breathe, the child. He's and she just goes, you're annoying. Get away from me. There's a ventriloquist of anger. So anyway, it's my turn though. The midwife turns to me and she goes, uh-oh, that's not what you want to hear from a midwife. He was backwards. And I had to reach in and help pull him around and out 15 years ago to this moment. Flooded the whole place. There were all my water. And there's no flood insurance for birthing pool water, by the way. So he came out, and that little boy is now 15, and he's just, you ever know an old soul? That's who he is. He's been that way, even through this divorce, a tumultuous, whatever he's going through with his mom. I said to him, what are you going to tell your spouse or significant other or whatever about why your parents got divorced? And he said, because mommy got brainwashed. Because mommy, there's nothing against her, this is just the facts, mommy suddenly was not into the laughter anymore. It was into the serious. It was into, I'm going to coach, and I'm going to go this, and I'm going to go multi-level marketing, I'm going to sell this product and this product, I'm going to follow this guru, and all this kind of stuff. It wasn't about love and laughter anymore. Imagine if it was. We're celebrating together today our son's birthday instead of separate parties. This is what we're giving him. I want to just give the children as much laughter as possible, and I encourage you to do the same thing to whoever you're related to, wherever your friends are. Bring them laughter, and they're always going to want to be around you. Think about that. Do they want to be around morose? Do they want to be? Yeah, some people do. They do. Misery does love company, but mostly people gravitate towards someone that makes them feel better. So that's the G is gratitude. The H is humility, and I have had a lot of humility in my life. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to list them. We're going to take a little break in a little bit. You're going to list all your rumbles, stumbles, fumbles, crumbles, and tumbles. Those are what gravitate people towards you, not your bragging. I remember this guy. I was friends with this really famous daughter of a really famous guy. I was really good friends with her. And she marries this guy, and I went and visited him. I'll never forget this. This is kind of like when I came up with this H, this humility of what I had, very present to my feelings. He's showing me his house and bragging his ass off. Look at this. Look what I have. Look what I have. And I'm thinking, you don't. This came from her father, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking that to myself, and I'm not feeling good about this. And I'm thinking, he's not feeling good about this. He has to boast about what he has, what he's accrued, what he's acquired. And I thought to myself, I really had a moment of clarity for me. Spiritus is a Latin word for breath. I always take these breaths that inform me to take contrary action, to be inspired, to go a different direction, not the programming route, not the conditioning route. And I said to myself, what would make this a lot better, this conversation? If he told me, he bragged he got a Picasso, and then he told me, can you believe it's a fake and I paid $1 million for it? I would laugh my ass off and with him. That would be humility, that he bought a fake. It might have been a fake, by the way. He didn't know anything about Picasso. He had a Picasso. He doesn't know anything about Picasso. Someone told him that this is what will represent you. Instead of represent yourself as the truth, represent yourself as a humble being. And we all fail. I have so many failures. It's most of my comedy act. I fail for your pleasure. And it's just admit your failures. It's fantastic. I will know you much better than your brags, than what you want people to think. The next one is T for truth. Tell the truth, something you've been holding on to, a lie that you've told others, and be okay with it. They say the truth sets you free. Does anybody really believe that? Or does anybody really do that? Does anybody actually go tell the truth to somebody when you've been kind of fibbing and making sure that people thought one thing about you? One thing I'll tell you, an honest truth that I will admit to you, and I've admitted this before, but I got freed when I started to admit it. I had someone take my SATs for me. I paid Tommy Taylor. I paid him $100 to take my SATs because I had no confidence. This kid, this poor kid, fatherless kid, really had a rough go in my life. I was kidnapped when I was 13, and I just had a rough life. And there was no confidence. There was none. This guy before you right now with a little bit of confidence, there was none back then. I thought I could never take a test and pass this to get into college. I wanted to be in college because I heard that was the place to go. Didn't have money to go there. Maybe I'll get I'm not going to get a scholarship either. Maybe my mom will get something because she's poor. I had Tommy Taylor take my SATs. He got a good score. So I got a chance. I got another chance at life. And I went away to college, and I started over again. And I went away far away where I could actually sing at a theater. And I could be in the theater now because I couldn't do it in Philadelphia. They beat me up. And here I was. I get the lead in the play. I went out there, and I made the dean's list. And the next year, I made the list that the dean wanted to see in his office. That's how I am, because I can go either way. But at that moment, when I had that fresh start, when I told the truth and it set me free, wow, look at the magnificence that happens. I've had an unbelievable life. I could just go on, and it would not be bragging. It would be to inspire you to know that you can too. You can go anywhere. I have a list that's the things that I've done. It's like a work of fiction. But it's only because I keep immersing myself in my truth, in who I am. Only the truth is funny, by the way. You can always smell it if it's written by somebody else, if it's just repeated knock-knock joke or whatever. There's nothing wrong with knock-knock jokes, but you can always tell if somebody's telling the truth. I'd imagine you know that I'm telling the truth up here, and those are the things you connect with. If I'm telling something that's not, you might go, you know. But that's what happens when you tell the truth. So the next is ego. Whew, man, I tell you what, the ego that's a rough one. We're so run by ego. What's it going to look like? What's this going to look like? What's this going to look like? No. Ego is, they say, it's edging God out. It's like, I call it, my acronym, evading growth opportunity. Every time I work from ego, I'm avoiding something I could grow from. I could grow from the pain. I could grow from the sorrow. I could grow from the grief. I could grow from the consternation. I could grow from the anger. I could grow from the rage. I could grow from anything besides avoiding it. The avoidance of the pain causes more pain every single time for me. The more I avoid it, the more I do not. If I operate from a healing, revealing space as opposed to this ego space, what you're going to think about me. I told you one of the saddest moments of my life was winning the Ultimate Award. I won 2 Emmy Awards, and I was drunk. I couldn't even accept that. I knocked the other guy who won it. I knocked him off the stage. I was so drunk. I couldn't take it. Now look where I am today, right? I'm with a couple people here, a few strangers, a few new people, sharing this with you. And this is much more of a dream than being in front of the Academy and accepting my Emmy Award. Those are just gathering dust. The other day I was laughing. I was at front page of the New York Times. I had 3 pages, 10 photographs, sitcom waiting to happen. I'm still waiting. And I looked up on the wall the other day. I have it on the wall. It's embarrassing. It's in sepia. It looks like it was the Civil War that had happened. So what does it all mean? What does all that mean? It's all meaningless. What means something is being present, being in the moment, in laughter, in joy. Sharing this with you is bliss for me. And watching it be reflected back is even more bliss. Other people's pleasure is much more pleasure. Anybody agree with that? Raise your hand. Anybody agree with it? Other people's pleasure is more pleasurable for you? Every single time. I take people to Lakers games all the time because my ex-girlfriend owns the Lakers, and I get front row. We're still friends today, by the way, through laughter. She ended up owner of the Lakers, took comedy classes. I was writing jokes for her. And they won the championship. And you know what? She was able to be fun and in her own presence for accepting the first woman ever in professional sports to win a championship. And she was up there. Now she had grace. Now she had her confidence because she built it through comedy. She took comedy classes. That's what comedy can do. It shifts your vibration into out of fear and into present, into yourself. That's why I encourage everybody. And so we're still friends today. She's Aunt Jeannie and my kids, even though we dated in the 90s. And I take people to these Lakers games, and people are like, oh, my God. And I'm so happy each person that I bring. I'm not going, whoa, look at me. I'm in the front row. I'm going, wow, I provided this opportunity because I'm funny, too. That's who she wants to be around. She married a comedian just now, last year too, by the way. But people want to be around funny. That's why people, you know, even at the Lakers games, when I see everybody, hey, because I put a smile on their face. Can you put a smile on people's faces? What do you think? Anybody want to do that? Anybody? Raise your hand if you want to do that. Let's take a breath in and instead of saying yes, go ha. Ready? Ha. See how cleansing that is? Easy to do. by somebody I coach. Actually, she's watching. I think she's home not feeling well. Janelle, hi, Janelle. Janelle says that when she's about to do something makes her nervous, she does these ha exercises. We're going to get to that as well, some more of those ha exercises. And the last one is rejoice, reboot, refresh, restore. It's all the re's. You get a chance to do this over and over and over again. Live that acronym. Love, acceptance, uniqueness, gratitude, humility, truth, ego, and rejoice. And that's what you get to do. Anyway, I'm going to take not a break, but I'm going to give you a special gift, okay? We're going to have some laughter up here. We have 3 comedians in the audience. They're all looking at me going, I'm not going up there. No. But someone who actually is part of this community of unity, Swan. I was so happy when I came here for the first time. There she was in the back, and we know each other from stand-up comedy. You're actually responsible. I didn't mention this. You invited Rick and Sherry to the show at the Improv, and I was on the show. And that's when Rick came up to me and goes, hey, I'm with Kenny Loggins. And that's how the whole thing happened, because of you, because of laughter. Yes. Laughter brings, come on up here, Swan. Why don't you do a few minutes? I'm gonna sit in this chair and judge you. No, I'm just no, I'm here to how about a hand for Swan? Swan.
Thank you. Well, this is, nope, I just turned that off. Hello?
You're the sound person, too.
I am, I know, but do I know what I'm doing? Does anyone know what they're doing? Oh, I don't know. So, thank you so much, Craig. That's what a wonderful gift to be here and to be here in front of all of you guys. And, do you ever have a thought about Gen Z? No, I'm just, that was off of Craig's earlier thing. No, we were talking about Gen Z earlier because we do have a different way of communicating. Do you guys ever see Gen Z where you go, who's Gen Z? Is there any Gen Zs in the room? Kind of? Okay. We'll just do a little experiment. All right. What if I said thank you? Thank you. How do you respond? Just thank you. You're probably younger than Gen Z. You're probably like after Gen Z.
I technically make it by just like 2 months.
You're not who I want to talk to. Okay, well, anyways, have you guys ever heard Gen Z, you go like at a Starbucks, and you're like, thank you, and then they say, of course. Oh, I want to die. Okay, I'm just going to say, I'm Gen X. I don't want to hear, of course. I want to hear, you're welcome, or I'm fine with no problem. I don't want to, of course, of course, of course, of course. Oh, my God, I would rather die. Okay, just saying. Anyways, so my name is Swan. Hello, welcome. The way you actually say my name, though, is the way that my mother would say it, like this. It goes like this. Oh, Swan. You guys want to try it? Yeah. Want to try it? Let's do it all together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Swan. You guys are kind of racist. Okay. All right. I'm just playing. I set you guys up. So my mom is Korean, and my dad is... Jules knew. Korean, see? That's what people think that. That's fine. No, my dad is black. I know. Nobody thinks that. This doesn't look. This doesn't look like, right? Nobody knows. It's okay. It's okay. I want you guys to feel comfortable. So my dad is black. He has light skin. The cops only pull him over Caucasianally. So naughty. That's so naughty, you guys. I've been doing so many squats. I've been doing squats upon squats upon squats, and I am still Asian, you guys. Nothing is happening back there. One of the things I do, we talked about dopamine earlier, and one of the things I do is I'm a boxing coach for people who have Parkinson's disease. And so we work on dopamine. That's actually a real thing that I do. And we laugh, we shake on purpose. They're okay with that, you guys. They're okay. And we laugh on purpose, too. That's actually part of the coaching. And even things so simple like, your jab will like jab, jab, cross. And that's a jabba, jabba, do. Right? It's so fun. It's very fun. So even silly chants, we'll chant at the end, we'll huddle up, and we'll do something like, I scream, you scream, we all scream for dopamine. So it's actually part of the culture to be very silly, and so it's actually perfect for me. So I get a lot of joy out of that. Yeah, and I worked here. I worked here for a while. I took these guys out of COVID and came here, and I got to be part of this great church, and I'm a member of this church. I mean, that's not even, there's no joke tag on that. I'm just sharing my experience and my joy. I did used to be a clothing designer, though. I got laid off during the pandemic. I was a clothing designer. I designed sweatpants, so that was nobody's dream job. And I did make, we actually started the jeggings. You guys remember that? Or are you guys old enough to remember jeggings, right? It was like 2 pocket minimums. And, okay, you have to be a little on the insider for that. But anyways, we made jeggings, sweatpants, T-shirts, and we were all made in America. I had to do a lot of healing work on myself, though. I had done so much spiritual work. I walked on hot coals 3 times. Oh, you've done that too? Oh, amazing. And now I'm looking for a healer for my feet. So, all right, I guess I think I'm just gonna, thank you so much. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your gift with us.
Thank you, Craig.
Everybody feel better now? Feel a little better, yeah. Now I'm going to ask you all to stand up. That's it. Your break is over. And I want you to face each other so you can see each other's joy and laughter and smiling, okay? So we'll face each other. I think, how about this? How about this side faces this side? So you guys face across from one another, okay? And you at home, if you're a couple at home, face each other, okay? So you can see the laughter. Now we're going to do a guided laughitation, okay? Just follow me and breathe in through your nose and let out a ha, what we did before. Here we go. Ha! Look at your across. Oh, that's it. Good smiles. Okay, let's do it again with smiles. Here we go. Ha! Now we're gonna let a ha 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 until you can't breathe anymore. Okay, ready? And ha 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 ha. Very good. Let's do it again through your nose and let a ha 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 ha. Now we're going to loosen up even more. You're going to jump up and down and literally let any anxiety you have, you're going to let it. Ready? Now you're going to say out loud, this is really stupid. That's really stupid. Now you're going to say something that you're in pain about, okay? Just say it out loud. You're in pain about, and I'll start you. Watch this. My wife took us to court again. So you're going to do that over to your other side. You could actually look up to the wall if you're too embarrassed. You're going to say out loud something that's really in your way, an obstacle that's in your way, some pain point. Go ahead, yell. Here we go. And my son has a birthday. Help me. Breathe in through your nose and let out a ha. Ha. Okay. Check in with yourself. Anybody lower their stress level? Raise your hand. Yeah. Significantly, right? What laughter does, it gets you to the meaninglessness of it. We put so much meaning on these obstacles. I'm still going to court. It's okay, especially in the moment. Doesn't matter in the moment. You just have this moment. That's all we have is now. I have a watch, actually. All it says is now. I look at the watch. I go, oh, it's now. That's all we got. All we have is right now, in the presence of now. Anybody feeling a little better than when they walked in here? Raise your hand. And that's how easily you can access your own laughter. Now, we're going to have a volunteer. Stay standing. We're going to have a volunteer. Somebody come up here, and we're going to do a guided laughitation together. You're going to take this microphone, and we're going to go have you come up here. Somebody volunteer, or I'm going to pick on you. Somebody come up here that wants to clear something out. You're going to clear out something that's bothering you, some resentment, some anger, some consternation, some nervousness, some fear. I want you to clear it out. You're going to make me, okay. Don't, now, here, I want to ask you something. I will pick on you. I'm not going to have you come up here, Jules, but no, I won't. I want you to tell me, if you could be honest and truthful, this is what we're talking about here, is what would make you not come up here? I hate doing things like this.
I didn't even do like the breathing work from the last class or when you're in therapy. Like, your husband and tell how you feel. And that's like the one thing I'm awkward with them.
Okay,
I don't
great.
feel confident.
Great. And this is a great place to start. But you know what the root of that is? Fear, shame, right? Shame's at the root of so many things, right? So laughter actually can bring you through that. So laughter actually, I won't have you come up here now, but just understand that if you do that, then that starts to go away. We all have fears. This is why we don't speak in public. Number one fear is speaking in public for some people, right? It's been listed as this the number one fear. So probably a lot of you don't want to come up here because you have fear of being in public. Tell me, what's the worst that could ever happen to you from speaking here? Nobody even has an answer for that. You could die like Dick Shaw, that bastard. You could die from it. And by the way, if you did die, you'd die laughing. Who wants to go that way? I want to go that way. I want to go laugh my ass off. Woo, see you later. Good night, everybody. Forever. What a way to go. You leave people with that memory, too. What about leaving people with that memory, that you got over your fears, that you're okay with your own death, that you're okay? Because we all need to be okay with it at some point. So why not start today in the presence of laughter and start to go down that road of fearless. I was in a golf tournament. I should not be I suck at golf. I got a trophy for closest to the car. And I'm just not good at golf. And I went on that way. I did a Laughitation. I said all these shame spots about when I was a kid and I was poor. I went out for the golf team and I wore poor people's clothes, borrowed clubs. I wore baseball spikes. They wouldn't let me on the green because they were rich and they had real spikes. I had baseball spikes that made holes in the green. And I said all this out loud. I did all that, right? And I won the championship. I won that day because I was in absolute pure bliss. And the other guys were going, I hit it in the water. Oh, son of a bitch. I'm going, and I kicked his ass. By the 15th hole, I already won. But I won when I showed up present and active with myself and enjoy and fearless. That's where it goes to. So who else wants to be fearless and come on up here? Who wants to come on up here and be fearless? Here we go. Come on up here. Yeah, give them a round of applause. Tell everybody your name. Tell everybody your name.
I'm Bill.
And it's Bill, and Bill wants to proclaim. Bill's going to proclaim now. Okay, you can sit down. And sit. Okay. Bill's going to proclaim now what he's going to release. Some tension, some obstacle that's in your life. What would you like to release? Tell everybody.
My back pain.
Your back pain. That's a good one. Oh, sweet. All right, here we go. We're going to take care of that back pain. By the way, there's a book called Healing Back Pain by Dr. Sarnow. And Dr. Sarnow, I had sciatica myself, and Dr. Sarnow talks about what all these ailments, a lot of these ailments, what they are is it's a manifestation, what's in your mind, and it goes to some part in your body that you're not releasing, your anger, your resentment, and so forth. This is a way to do that. So we're going to release all that pain in your back. So now say out loud, you're going to laugh along with them, laugh out loud, and you're going to say out loud some of the pain you have, some of the times you've had the pain. Just keep on saying, keep it expressive. Ready? Breathe into your nose, everybody.
My ass is killing me. Sitting in that fucking chair. Oh my God, what a pain in the ass. It's fucking killing me. I should look natural, but I can't. I'm in front of a comedian and my wife keeps fucking texting me. I can't believe it.
Through your nose and let out a ha. Now, your wife could still be texting you, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, does it? It's all meaningless.
Yeah,
and by the way, while you were laughing, it remained in your pocket anyway. She could be texting you. It didn't matter. Yeah, it didn't matter. And you feel a lot less pain, right?
Yeah, I do actually.
There you go. Thanks, Bill. Thanks. Have a seat. Those of you watching at home and streaming, that's what you can do as well. You can do this at any time. You just release the things that are really bothering you, that are bogging you down, and including fears of speaking in front of people, including fears of people seeing who you really are. Don't we all want to be who we really are, who we truly are? That's what this is. This is deprogramming, the programming that says you're not that person. You're not joyous. You're not filled with bliss. You're not filled with love. You're the I project you to be. You get in my line, you do what I say, or you're going to be these things. I'm going to punish and shame you. I'm going to put you in that category, whatever it is. Be ourselves. Love, light, and levity. That's the goal. Let's make that the goal, and then watch what happens. Watch what manifests. Next time we're here, Jules is going to come up here and go, I'm ready. I'm ready. Ready to release some of these pains. We transmute our pain and turn it into laughter. And laughter has such great chemicals that are released. All that's happening, just in those moments, you were having a good time. You weren't thinking about any of those stressors. We weren't thinking about any of our stressors. We were laughing along with you. And fake laughter, by the way, is the same as real laughter. There's no such thing. If you're on a Stairmaster or you're climbing a hill, your body's not going, wait a minute, I'm on a hill now, or I'm on a Stairmaster. No, it's just enjoying all the benefits. You're enjoying all the benefits of laughter, the spirituality of it, the emotional release, the pain release of physical pain. You're enjoying all of those things while you're laughing. That's how easy it is to get to. Even I'm more loose now than I was at first. At first, I'm going, oh, my God. These people are staring at me. They have no idea what they're doing here. A lot of them don't know me. Oh, my God, am I overreaching here? Whatever it is. I don't care anymore because I started doing these exercises with you, and then I don't care as much anymore about how you feel about me because I know the gift that I'm sharing with you, and it's true, it's blue, it's uplifting, it's fantastic, it's magnificent. I've watched countless people that this works for. My friend Tony Luke, his son died. His son died early. His son died at like 30 years old of a drug overdose, and I never saw anybody in grief like this. And he was in really bad grief. And I don't know if you're watching, Tony, but I love you. And Tony is a guy, he's like a brother to me. He's back in Philadelphia, and he was gone for a year, out. Like all he talked about was the death of his son. Guilt and shame and all this stuff and grief. As, you know, a lot of us grieve differently. I called him up one day. I was inspired. I listened to my inspiration now instead of my head and my fears. And I just said, go for it, man. Every time I go for it, it's amazing. I did an intervention with somebody, drugs and alcohol. I got on the bed with her. I'm here, come on, we love you, you know. And that worked. When you get through your fear and you get into courage, it will drive you into things that you never could have dreamed of because that's the true spirit of who you are, not from someone else telling you, dictating what you are. And Tony Luke, I called him, I said, Tony, I'm going to teach you how to do comedy. He goes, what are you talking about? I'm not a comedian. I make cheesesteaks. He has a cheesesteak place, a big cheesesteak place in Philadelphia. It's a chain. He's known for Tony Luke's. That's what he's known for. I said, no, now you're going to be a comedian. Just give it a shot. So I taught him comedy over the phone, all truthful things. He has a joke in his act. I'm trying to think of one of his jokes. Oh, he says, you know, Philadelphia, they're very rough on you. And he says, I was a little league pitcher. You know, I was really scared, and I got on a mound, and I hear this heckling from the stands. You suck. What are you doing pitching? Well, there's nobody worse than you. And he turns around and he goes, Ma, I'm pitching over here. That was one of his jokes. So I taught Tony how to do comedy. I said, you're going to open for me in Philadelphia, sold-out room. And the night before, we all went out. Me, my son, some other friends. We went to this Italian restaurant. There was no one in the restaurant except for the 6 of us. Tony on a tiny little stage with a napkin rolled up with a knife and fork as his microphone. And there's 2 other people in the place. And he's doing his act with the Italian, with the gestures. He's got the gestures going. He's got the whole thing going, overacting. We are losing it. I swear, it's as hard as I've ever laughed. I remember my son being there. It was so much love exchanged when you laugh. I was crying. My eyes were bleeding. I was laughing so hard at him doing his thing. Not because of how good he was, it's how bad he was going to bomb the next day. Literally, the one guy goes, you can't do this to him. You can't do this to him. And he's up there, Ma! He's doing the whole thing. And we're howling laughing. And that's what camaraderie is. It's like laugh at our mistakes, laugh at our humility, all that kind of stuff. But I have to be honest with you. The next day, he destroyed on stage. Something happened. He connected with us. He got one laugh. And you watch what happens. When you were up here, you get that one little laugh, it sparks you. It just sparks you in a whole other realm of possibility, a whole other dimension when you get that laugh and that connection. It's a divine connection with people. He destroyed. Each joke got better and better. I'm sitting there like a proud papa watching this guy just, all the grief of his son left. Everything that had happened to him in the last year, all of that stuff, that sorrow that he was in, a pity party even, it all left. It was all gone. In that moment, he had 5 minutes on stage. It was glorious to witness. It was glorious for him and everybody else. That's what you can have on a daily basis. You have access to laughter anytime you want. I can teach you the skills to get there. And you can also do it by just laughing, by just doing these guided Laughitations and all this stuff. He ended up opening for me at Hard Rock Casino, Borgata Casino, Florida at the Improv. He ended up touring with me, a guy that makes cheesesteaks. And we made a TV show together. We made a show called Comedy Kitchen, where I teach him comedy, he teaches me food, and we teach famous comedians how to do a dish for the judges, and I teach famous chefs how to do comedy for the judges. Anyone can be taught comedy. Anyone can be taught how to be funny. It's your own funny bone. Embrace that. But make that a goal. It's income, not outcome. Don't worry about the outcome. Don't worry about people's feelings, because I guarantee if you bring laughter, they're going to feel good. You're going to make everybody feel good around you. All right, so stand up again. We're going to stand up and do some more exercises. Let me make sure I cover everything here. All right, now, face each other again. And I want you to say out loud while you're laughing. We're going to do a high exercise. I want you to say out loud while you're laughing something that hurts. It could be a body part. It could be your emotions, your feelings. Just say it out loud. Okay? First we do a ha. Ha. Good. Nice smiles. I like those smiles. Healing enzymes being released. Here we go. And now let out a ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Now do it by jumping. Now say out loud what hurts. My back hurts. And breathe. Nice conditions we're in right now, aren't we? It's a nice vibration. Now we're going to do an easy exercise. I'm going to point to you. Oh, did I hear oh no? I'm going to you first. Do not resist. Do not, what you resist persists. I'm going to go to you first, and I'm going to say, what's your favorite comedy movie, the one that made you laugh until you cried? Go ahead. My Cousin Vinny. Yeah, these Utes. Look how everybody smiled. They all thought of when they watched Cousin Vinny for the first time. Okay, I'm going to point around the room. Boom! Tell me your favorite movie. Crazy Stupid Love, and you can see it on my stage. Crazy Stupid Love. I love the way she put it as a promotion. I think I'm the unity. Are you screening it here? Is that what you're saying?
No, I just noticed it was playing and it's on Wednesday. I was like, look at that, $5.
You screen it, right, Sherry? You screen comedies?
No, she just saw it advertised. Yeah.
Oh, it's out now.
We do like $5 movies once in a while, and it's on Wednesday.
Okay, on Wednesday. Okay. Maybe we'll, I know you do. Your favorite comedy, I think I know what it is. You can tell everyone else. Go.
Mostly it's Defending Your Life, but it's also Waiting for Guffman.
Waiting for Guffman. Interesting. Okay, wow. By the way, a few people didn't even go, ha. They went, ooh. It got one of those. Give me your favorite comedy.
It'll never get made today, but
Blazing Saddles. Isn't that funny how they say it won't be made today? Isn't that sad about our society, that that's where we are, that we all became so woke that we can't have things that are the truth? It's just the truth. If something's the truth, you know what can't be made today? Tropic Thunder. That was so damn funny. But he had blackface, so it can't be done today, which is ridiculous. It's funny. It's not doing anything. It's not punching down. It's not saying something bad about someone. It's all about intention. If your intention is to make someone laugh, then there's no ist or phobe attached to it. Just be you. If that makes you laugh, just say what makes you laugh. That's it. Somebody else. Somebody want to share it? Now, Jules, this you can do. Oh, Jules! I'm going to make you my personal manifestation will be have you get rid of all this stuff. You have to put more fun in your life, okay? Will you commit to us? Will you commit to us today? Proclaim today that you are going to find more laughter in your life. You're going to say, I proclaim I'm going to have more laughter in my life. Now laugh. Seal it with a good laugh. Okay. Renee, what do you got? What do you got? Favorite movie? Favorite comedy? Happy Gilmore. He's actually working on another one, I heard, right? Yeah, and I saw him doing the shot the other day. It was this thing. He was actually did the Happy Gilmore shot. See how everybody smiles when you just think about these. All right, let's just go in order here. We're just going around the room. Say your favorite movie. Okay, favorite comedy movie. Best in Show. Oh, that's just like same Christopher Guest. So you guys like you like farce. That seems to. Yes, they're love what? Oh, Cool Runnings. Yes. Now, but when we go around the room, I also want you to say a favorite quote from the movie if you have one. Mine's Planes, Trains, Automobiles. And that makes me laugh, hilarious. I mean, big time laugh. And my favorite line is, "Those aren't pillows." See, that made you laugh, right? Because you just have that memory of, and I've had those moments of "those aren't pillows" in my life anyway. So let's go around the room. So let's.
Okay, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Here's a thought: when telling a story, have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
He wasn't saying that to me, by the way. That was a quote. That was a quote from the movie. Yes. By the way, I just saw Steve Martin's documentary. I forgot how brilliant he was. I highly recommend Steve Martin's documentary. Brilliant guy. He took it to a whole other level. And you know how he took it to another level? This dude knew who he was, and that's what I encourage everybody to know who you are. I teach comedy. It's not about the jokes. By the way, the jokes are irrelevant actually, because every situation you're in, it has to be me in that situation. I've been in situations like, one week I'm on Howard Stern's show. Is that the same response as I'm going to be when I'm playing at church? No, it's not the same. But who I am is responding to. I did the Hollywood Squares, and they surprised me on Howard Stern's show. And there I was on the real Hollywood Squares, and here I was in masking tape. Next to me was retard Gary, crackhead Bob. This is what I was dealing with, okay? So this is what I had to respond to that as me. And then the following week, I might be playing a church with nuns in the audience. So this is what I'm saying is you respond to these things, who you are. And you clear that out by laughing more. Let's keep going. Oh, you already went?
Well, I'll tell you my quote.
Okay, what's your quote? How big is your brain? What's that from? Defending your life. Okay. Let's keep going.
I suffer from the same illness.
You do not!
I do, but like when you said my cousin Vinny, that struck a chord for me. I'm like, oh yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that's funny. So that joke.
There you go. How about the last comedy movie you watched? What do you think it was? Now, that face tells me you're not watching enough of them. So here's your prescription. You're going to go figure out what the favorite comedies are, and you're going to watch a whole bunch of them until the next time I see you, and then you're going to share it with me. And then we're going to have joy together because you're going to share it with me. Isn't that a cool thing? That's easy to do, too. Let's keep going. You have another one?
My movie was Happy Gilmore a lot of years ago, and he kept saying, "I just want to play hockey. I want to play golf. Suck that. I want to
Just want to play hockey.
I loved it. The guy stuck to his guns.
Yeah. It's a funny movie. All these are funny movies. You know, it's all subjective, as I said before, but that's what's interesting is other people's films that they find funny. Maybe you won't find it funny, but you might find some energy when you see the person sharing. That's always fun and funny. Let's keep going. Bridesmaids. Wow. Is that the one where there was a scene with diarrhea? Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah. Over here we got gas with blazing saddles. We got diarrhea. There's nothing better. My ex-wife, she's very hippie-ish, and she says to me in the beginning of the relationship, she goes, "Do you know it's spiritual to fart?" I go, "Well, you married the Dalai Lama?" Thank you. I got a laugh out of Cousin Vinny over there. Do you have another movie, or Cousin Vinny, you want to stick with that one? I'll stick with that. Okay, yes. And here's a smiling face every week that I ever see you. Go ahead. What do you have for? The Three Stooges, I'm old. I got to tell you, that's a wild answer out of you, because I've always said that women don't like the Three Stooges. But usually, my first comedy act ever was celebrity smoking pot. And I ended it with Curly. Don't, honey, I'm high, Mo. Honey. Anyway, it was funny back then. Anyway. Okay. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Funny movie? Okay. We got, okay, yeah. Jules, Jules, you're.
Well, Bridesmaids reminded me of The Hangover. That was
Boom! She got one. All right. Do you see? It's inspiring conversation. It's a curious thing that we're doing. It inspires someone to go, oh, both of you started with, just like because we're all taught fear, we're all taught shame in class. You don't come up with the right answer, they shame you. And that's what still stays with us. We're about to release that stuff. We release that crap and be here and be present. You just came up with your own like that just because you were inspired by somebody else's answer. All about the energy, everybody. It's genuine energy flow. All right. Next. Don't give it. I wasn't. Okay. Sister Act. Hilarious. I showed that to my kids recently. Yes. By the way, bonding through laughter, Whoopi Goldberg is still the most amazing person to me. And people will get mad at me because they don't like her politics or whatever. All I know is the person that she is a beautiful person to me, and she's helped me more than anyone in my whole career. She got me on Comic Relief, Hollywood Squares, all those things. She's genuinely connected with me. We connect through laughter. She admires the way I make her laugh. I admire the way she makes me laugh. And Sister Act was another example of it, where she was my kids were. We just love that movie. We skipped somebody, Nicole. We skipped you.
No, I thought I volunteered. Well, you guys said planes, trains, and automobiles, so I could tag on that. But I like that I want fucking car with 4 fucking wheels and a fucking steering wheel. Sorry. This is the only day I can actually get away with this. So.
Also, when you're quoting, you can say anything.
Yeah, I'm just sharing. I was forced to, Reverend.
When you're quoting, you can say anything. Okay. And we got the perspective of a young man here. What are your favorite films? Comedy films.
I just recently saw the new Deadpool Wolverine movie, which I enjoyed.
Oh, very clever writing, and that acting is amazing. I haven't seen this one, but he's amazing. Deadpool. I mean, that dude, he's so funny. By the way, anybody know why he's funny? Raise your hand. Why do you think he's funny? Why do you think he's funny? Didn't learn anything today? Yes. Because he just wants love. He's had plenty of love. He's had quite a few wives and girlfriends. But anyway, no, he tells the truth. He tells the truth. He's revealing who he is. We're in healing, revealing at all times, folks. We're always healing and revealing. And the way to get there, what's that? Oh, Deadpool wants love. Yeah. Oh, right.
Ryan Reynolds.
I meant Ryan Reynolds. Okay. Yeah, but it's telling the truth. And when you tell the truth, people respond to the truth. They always feel the truth. Let's keep going. Elf. Oh my God, that's a big one in our house. Do you watch it every year? Isn't that great that that's a tradition? That's the tradition we need to have. A lot more of that. I'm going to end with a movie that we're going to talk about. You already went. Okay, I already went. How about a hand for all of you for participating in that? We all added to each other's lives. You all added to one another. Do you understand that? Some people are going to go home and rent those movies. You're going to go watch those movies. You're going to be inspired to watch funny movies. You can have a seat. I'm going to tell you one more story. This is to wrap everything up. How are we doing with time? I have to check with my... By the way, at home, I believe there's probably a link or a QR code. I don't ask for money to do this, but if you want to do a love donation, you could do a love donation, and I will turn around and give that to Unity for all the people that are working here and helping us and so forth. But if you want to do that, sign up in the back. There's a QR code back there, or you could put something in a basket back there, or you could, there's a basket and there's an email list back there. And please get on the email list. Please. The goal is also to build community. I want to build a community. You're the start of the community. We already began a few weeks ago. I've been doing this for a long time. We have a Facebook group. I'm going to move the Facebook group into our group because I started it years ago with the Enlightened Up group. We have a Live to Laugh group. We have a number of groups. We're just going to bring them all together with the same common goal. We're going to manifest more laughter and joy into the world. And these are the ways we're going to do it. These are easy ways to do it. You can see that today. Just say something. Next is going to be sitcoms. Think of your favorite sitcoms. We'll bring that the next time. I want to conclude by talking about The Wizard of Oz, which happens to be my favorite film of all time. Anybody ever see The Wizard of Oz? Everybody? Everybody seen it? Good. Okay. If you haven't seen it, if you're watching at home, The Wizard of Oz is a story that's our story. It's definitely my story. When I was in Philadelphia, this kid that was, picked on and bullied, and I was abused. I was abused physically, emotionally, spiritually abused. And it was to the point where I couldn't even take it anymore. But then one day, just like Dorothy, I was enlightened and something happened to me where I was in 4th grade and I began to tell the truth. I told a truthful story. And I'll never forget this as long as I live. It was truly, it was another source was speaking to me, another voice. Because I was in such pain being in another neighborhood. And this one, my mom moved us into a wealthier neighborhood with wealthy people that were making fun of me and teasing me. They caught me sewing my pants in the bathroom. I learned how to work a thimble in 4th grade. And here I am sewing my pants because I only had one pair of pants. I went back into that class. And I'll never forget. And no one liked me. I didn't have any friends. I had one friend, Mike Pitko, because he had also had divorced parents. We bonded together. Anyway, it was a lot of pain as a kid. Nobody to go to. My mom was working a lot. There's nobody to understand it. I'm the only boy in the house, and so on. It's not a sob story. This is to tell you the uplifting story. So I told this tale that really happened in class, and I talked about my mom beating me. Actually, it was a story of my mom beating me. You're going to think I have all these painful stories. Anyway, I'm getting to the good part. So I broke something, and she beat me, and I started to tell this story in class. I told it as a book report. I twisted it I didn't read the book, so I just made up a book. And I said, my mom did this, and boom, boom, boom. I can still tell you the faces and the names popped up like whack-a-mole. This one's laughing at me. This one's looking at me. This one's paying attention to me. All because I'm telling a funny story, a true story. Then I exaggerate. I learned the art of exaggeration, which is also something I can teach. You learn the art of exaggeration. You take something, of course it's not true. You take a joke and you take it this way. That's the art of exaggeration. So I started saying, oh, she beat me so bad. I was a piñata. I had candy coming out of my mouth. There goes a Clark bar. I started like drawing visuals for people, which I encourage people to do. Add dialogue, inner dialogue, how you're feeling, how the other characters are feeling in your story. And I started to describe this magical, magical, magical. It was the moment in my life where I really understood that telling the truth does not get me in trouble. It sets me free. It really leads to other people's happiness, other people's bliss. So the next day, there's another sad thing. I'm getting to the good part. The teacher said, he's not going to do this in my class ever again. And she locked me in a closet and tied my hands behind my back. She bound me behind my back with blue yarn. I'll never forget it. For the entire day, she goes, don't get off that box. You'll think about what you did. I'm sitting there like this in misery and almost crying. I would never let people see me cry. It was a big thing for me, because I was not a real man. That's how I thought. And I sat there, and I would get up defiantly, and I look in the vent, and there she'd come. I'd see her thighs come at me with her checkered skirt, and I'd jump back on there. She goes, you're not up, are you? I said, no, I'm on the box. I stayed on the box all day. She goes, you think about it. You know what happened? A voice came inside of me. A voice said, no, don't you ever stop. That was the most glorious feeling you could ever feel in your life. It was magnificent what you felt. You felt connection with people. You felt, I didn't use these words, you felt bliss with other people. You felt people noticing. You felt people, feelings, magical feeling, fanciful feelings I had never felt in my entire life. Being in this strange neighborhood, with not ostracized, not wanted. I was wanted because I brought laughter to people. And some source inside me said, you keep doing this. Do this, and I've been doing it ever since, and I do it for a living. I do it now for free, teaching other people how you can get to those spaces. And it's been an unbelievable ride. And just like Dorothy thought everything was dim and dark, and then she went, I did things like that. I committed crimes when I was younger. I can't even tell you. I would be so ashamed if I told you the crimes that I committed for attention or love or whatever it was. I misrepresented love for attention. And I went and did those things, and just like Dorothy, I ran away. I ran away to drug dealers and bartenders or whatever it was. I died of an overdose, all of those things. That's her life went into a tailspin. My life went into a tailspin. A lot of us have some form of a tailspin in your life, whether it's somebody you're getting divorced from or separated from or having difficulties with a family member, whatever it is. We all have that spin that we go into, and then we land, and we land in color, and we land in beauty, and we land in possibility. And that's what Dorothy does. She lands in that place, and she goes, what is this? Because I'm not used to experiencing that bliss like this, and following Elric Road, and then she landed on on this woman, who they all deem to be evil and dark and dire, and then the light comes down. The light that we all have inside of us, Glinda, the good witch, comes inside and says, are you a good witch or a bad witch? What do you mean I'm not a witch? Because other people define us by our labels. Don't be defined by your label, witch or whatever it is. You make your own label. We're human beings having this human experience. It's a beautiful spiritual thing that we have. We're gifted with that. And then those shoes go on to her. And guess what happens in life? And I would encourage you all to confront those people or move away from those people. Move in the vibration of love. Everyone wants to take away your shine. That's all that was all about. Wanted to take that shine away from Dorothy, these slippers that were glowing and sparkling, and they were ruby slippers, and the darkness wanted to take that away. Jealousy, people are jealous of you. People are jealous of your laughter and jealous of your joy. Let them be, because they could become you one day if you're the example. She goes down the road. They say, go follow the yellow brick road. Follow the steps. Follow this pathway to your own enlightenment. And it's mind, body, and spirit. The scarecrow, she comes up with the scarecrow first. And the scarecrow is, he doesn't think he has a brain. I didn't think I had a brain. I had Tommy Taylor take my SATs. I didn't think I had a brain. It turns out I have a huge IQ. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying you do too. Because of other people's standards, I thought that I didn't. I thought I was stupid, actually. Anybody here think I'm stupid? No, probably not. Probably can't be a comedian if you're stupid. You have to have pretty much of a brain. I thought I didn't have a brain. He didn't think that he had, but he did. He already had. He goes, just adjust that hook and I'll fall down. He already knew how to get down. He told her, he goes, just to do the hook. You know, I'm going, wait a minute. It doesn't make any sense. He falls and he ends up dancing. Let's dance. Let's dance. Have a good time. Be you. He's becoming himself. That's what that journey's about. Then they go, and the next one is our physical self. You have pain in your back. People have pains. We have pains that they end up in some place in our body. Acknowledge those pains. Move into the pain, and then move out of the pain by having others community. He needed a sponsor with an oil can to keep him going. You know, we need people. We need to go down this journey together. It's a community. That's what I'm forming here. We're forming a community, a laughter community. And by the way, they're laughing. They're heading down that road, and then they come up with the next one. Mind, body, spirit. This guy's spirit. The cowardly lion. That is me, if anybody's me. I'm Philadelphia. I'm the king of the forest. Put him up. And underneath, he says, I'm just a dandelion. Because underneath, we all are. We're all sensitive. We're all in fear. We all don't have courage all the time. We're not who we are supposed to be, what we're labeled to be. I'm supposed to be the king of the forest. I'm supposed to be tough. I'm supposed to be the father. I'm supposed to be the dad. I'm supposed to be the husband at one time. I'm supposed to be all of these things. But underneath, I'm frail too. I have feelings too. I'm sad too. But I want to be in communion with you. And you can help me through, and I can help you through. And then they go down to the opium field. And they have a slip. The poppies make you sleepy, and they're sleepy. And it looks like they're out for the count. I had that happen many a times. I drank myself into a coma a lot of times because I didn't like the way I felt. Drugs, alcohol, anything that I could do to take myself out of self and into this illusion of self. Then they get there, and it's not so easy. They get there, and a lot of us are this way. When you start something new, it's always the same, right? It's rose-colored glasses. Wow, this feels great. I'm in this new place. What do you do? Mario, ha ha ha, and a couple la-di-das. That's how we do it with a Mario Land-of-Oz. And they have their barber shop, and they have the horse of a different color, and everything looks good. But you understand that movie? That's a walled city. That's a walled city. Our universe is not walled. There is no walls in our universe, but they give us walls, our society. That's why I say get off of the news. They're have you on a wall. They're going to tell you you're supposed to be scared. Here's your scared of. Here's your enemy. They're going to define your enemy just like they did the Wizard of Oz. They defined that enemy was this wicked witch. Then they say, oh, you want to go home? You want a heart? You want all those things? No, you got to be of service. And you show us that you dealt with your fears. You bring us back the representation of it, the broomstick. You bring us back the broomstick of the wicked witch of the West, which they all have deemed as the evil that will take them down, that will scare the hell out of them. Scared me when I was a kid. Anybody else scared to death of that wicked witch? Then she sends the monkeys. The monkeys, oh my God, she launches the monkeys on them. And the scarecrow, I'll never forget it. I was like freaked out when I was a kid. He's in the ground going, they took my arms and they threw them over there. They took my legs and they threw them over there. I'm going, oh my God. What is he going to do? You know what he's going to do? Communion, community. That's who gets them together. They put them back together again. Then they come up with their plan together. Together they have a plan just like we have a plan here. Just like we have a community who uplifts one another. We do it through laughter and through joy. And then they go, together we're going to face these fears. We're going to get in there and we're going to go get that broomstick. That's our goal. We're going to get that broomstick. We're going to save Dorothy, who we love. Starts with L, remember? Acceptance. Oh, my God, I can't accept this. They get in there, and then by helping one another, by natural instincts, not forced instincts, because we all have a natural love and a natural energy about us, pours the water on her friend who's on fire, it all melts away. I don't know about you. When that happened, when I was a kid, I went, oh my God, this is it. She's going to be killed. I could see it 100 times and still think she's going to be killed. It doesn't matter how many times I see that movie. Every single time she throws the water, and you're melting. What a world, a wicked world. And she's down. She's just steam. All that thing, that buildup that we all had for this fear of false evidence appearing real was all false evidence. It wasn't real. It was all made up. And then these people said, the Winkies, who look like her, they're in her image, these green. Remember the Winkies? Oh, we owe her. I didn't even know what they were saying. I thought they were saying Oreo. I had no idea when I was a kid. They were saying, oh, we owe her. They owe her. That's what our leaders do to us. That's what people who are in charge of us, even parents, teachers, peers, they try to own us. They try to dominate us instead of us being our true, authentic spirit. That's who we're meant to be. And that's what I said, oh my God, they're going to kill her. Instead, they said, all hail Dorothy. They hailed Dorothy for freeing them, the freedom to the truth. And they celebrated. Then they went back and they said, they gave a ticking clock for a heart and all the badge. I've got badges. I've got diplomas. I got all sorts of stuff. I mean, it's meaningless. It's who I am that's most important. And that's what it didn't turn out to be a wizard, did it? It turned out to be somebody behind a curtain. And we all give our power to people behind curtains all the time. I don't believe any of them. I don't believe sponsorships. I see the phoniness. I'm just going to go for me. I'm going to connect with my family, connect with my friends. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to connect with you, I hope, today. That's about this divine connection, this beautiful thing that we call laughter. That's what it turns out. That movie was all about that. And then you've had the answer all along, is what they said to her. The good witch, the light comes down. You know, I'm just a light in your life right now, and you're my light as well. And we just light each other up, and sometimes we're in that darkness and we don't see it. And he says, the scarecrow leans in, I should have thought of that for her. And you couldn't have thought of that for her. She had to experience it for yourself. You have to experience everything for yourself. You have to go on this journey yourself to the land of ha-has. That's what I encourage you to do, land of ha-has. Put some more ha-has in your life and watch how good it is. And there's no place like home. Home is where your heart is. It's truly inside of you. It's this magnificence, this potency that wishes to be released. This is my only job in life right now, not to be a stand-up comedian. I've been a stand-up comedian. I'll still be touring. By the way, you can see me, Oxnard Levity Live, coming up. But go to my website on the way out. You'll see I really know how to make people laugh. Not like today. It's not like today wasn't about making you laugh. It was about encouraging you to find your own laughter, your own joy, your own home. That's what I'm here to do in this particular venue and platform. And I have other things that I do. Sharing the gift, sharing what this inside tells me to do. That's what happens for me. That's that love, light, and levity that wishes to shine, and it shines. Every one of you shines. So that's what I encourage you to do. Yeah, please sign up on the mailing list afterwards. Come to a comedy show. You'll laugh your ass off. Anybody that's ever seen me can confirm it, right? I do know how to make you laugh, and it all happened from 4th grade, from that voice that said, there is no place like home. There's no place like your own voice inside that wishes to emerge, wishes to be out of these fears and into yourself. And all these people are going to come with you on the journey to ha-has. I want to thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Blessings to all of you. Lots of bliss. One more. Ha-ha! Merry old land of ha-has. My cards are in the back, by the way. My cards, if you want to follow me. Follow me on all that stuff. And a couple la-dee-das.
So, Craig,